Hello, zealots of YouTube. It is I, Neredvaal, your Skull Lord. Recently returned from a trip from Europe. Seeing as how I am a naturally NA-based skeleton, I decided I would peruse the various memes that you all create for Europe versus the United States and see if they are accurate or would make me laugh. So yeah, let's get into it, I guess. Punching a wall in the US versus punching a wall in the EU. Okay, no, I haven't even started the video yet, but I already have a comment. This is absolutely 100% true. The doors over at my friend's place in the Netherlands were so goddamn sturdy. I was shook. I was shook at how difficult it was sometimes to make sure these things moved in the way they needed to. Whereas the door to my bedroom, which I can look at right over there, that motherfucker is hollow. Literally hollow. Like, because the US is just gluing sawdust onto boards? Exactly, yes. It's just sawdust and wood chips glued together. Fuck, I hate it here. God damn it. All right.
Punching a wall in the US versus in EU. Europeans, when they see Americans.
No free healthcare? Bro.
Europe is a...
Don't get me started on the no free healthcare thing. I worked in healthcare, chat. I was a pharmacy technician for like a decade. Half of that was in retail. The insurance was the biggest pain in the ass every single time. Health insurance is the biggest fucking villain out of any of this bullshit that we have to deal with over here. No free healthcare? Yeah.
Europe is asleep. These are called chips, and these are called... No, they're not. We are not
I
asleep.
don't... Okay, dude started acting pressed. I don't know why, but I don't know why they call... I mean, I sort of understand crisp. Because these are, you know, crisp. They're crunchy, but why call these things chips? What is the vernacular that stems from? That these are chips. They're chips of a potato. You chip them up. Is that really what it is? Sounds dumb. I have no idea. I mean, sure, but chips. If I'm thinking of wood chips, I'm thinking of just like hacking at it with an axe, and it's not any kind of uniform shape. You know, at least when we call them fries, it's because we fry them in oil. And fun fact, we call them French fries because they are cut in the French style, which means they are julienned. All right, a little bit of culinary vernacular here for you today to level up your game.
I feel bad for you, said Europe. I don't even think about you at all, said America. Americans, when it's 90 degrees outside, versus Europeans when it's 90 degrees.
Yes, also to this, with me having to do mental calculations of, okay, it felt like that when it was 10 degrees centigrade outside. So that translates to it's probably around maybe the upper 40s, 50s. But then, is that really accurate? Is that taking into account the moisture level? It was the whole thing.
Who even uses Celsius? Like, how extra? Places which use Celsius versus Fahrenheit.
Yes.
Guys are extra.
I get it. The US has to be different with a lot of things. But to be fair, Europe usually invented it first, and then it just stuck around in the United States. All right. And it's going to cost a lot of money to get everybody to commit to using a different thing, and the US just doesn't do that, you know?
Medieval Europe versus medieval Europe in movies/documentaries. Europe.
Okay, yeah.
Americans naming cities. Europe. New.
You just put the new in front of it. Slap that shit on there.
Europe. This is America.
Don't remind me. Yeah.
USA, Mexico, India, Canada, South America, Scandinavia.
Yeah, Eastern Europe. I mean, for my trip to the Netherlands, it was mostly this down here, like this fucking thing right here. Because I think I saw the sun maybe twice while I was over there. Which I can't blame them. They're against the North Sea the whole time, but also, damn. For as green as everything was, because it was all wet, holy shit. Dark as hell.
Eastern Europe, grass in USA versus grass in Europe.
Okay, fuck you.
25-year-old European versus 25-year-old American.
Okay, yeah, this is the only one that applies to me. None of the rest of this is fucking happening down here. This is not accurate. Sorry, bros.
100
Nope.
acres of pizza are served in the US every day. Who the hell measures pizza in
In
acres?
acres, USA.
Oh, Europe.
USA. My favorite like fucking made up US measurement is football fields per moon landing, because how many other fucking countries have put something on the moon? Yeah, I'll fucking wait.
NC Americans. I've got to embrace the flag. I've got to sniff the flag. I've got to lick the flag. I've got to wash the flag.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't
I've
give a
gotta
shit
date
about the flag.
And I've got to be the flag. People who leave their phones set to military times are war criminals. How do you look at 405 and go,
Yeah,
wow, I can
it's
understand
literally
that.
405.
Because what's next? You gonna join the army? Recruit me? Americans be like, okay, I can't
Camp
count past
FS12. I can understand this because I used to work in a hospital and we also used 24-hour clocks on everything. Because it makes sense for you to know that if you say you gave a patient their pain medicine at 2 p.m., that doesn't necessarily tell you if it's a.m. or p.m. Sure, you can maybe use some context for that, but also at the same time, no, you're dealing with fucking morphine here, people. Get your head out of your ass.
Actually, if
Level
I
up.
have a medical emergency, don't you dare call an ambulance. You better
Yes,
Uber my
also
butt to
true.
the hospital because we are not about to pay $5,000 for a ride in the Wii U wagon. Everyone outside the USA.
Yes, this is also true because a lot of the companies that do operate ambulances and things are privately owned. So they are for profit, which means they want to scam as much money out of you as possible. Which sucks. It shouldn't be this way, but there's a few other conversations we have to have before we get to this one, unfortunately.
Laughing nervously. What?
What
Hey
the
Canadians,
fuck?
have fun at school tomorrow. Hey Americans, have fun paying your healthcare. Stop guys, we're friends, remember? Children, behave.
don't think we are,
else
but
mother
sure.
shall have to give the pair of you a bollocking. You couldn't beat 13 states, let alone 50.
Oh,
Australia
burn!
doesn't even exist. Aussies are just spicier British
Oh god,
people.
fucking
What are
Puchico.
flavorless British people? Just normal British people? What are Americans? Cheesy stuffed
Stuffed
British
British
people. The
people.
British keyboards have a special pound key on their keyboards. How do you hashtag? Hashtag is over by the enter key. Don't you worry your little butt. What do American keyboards look like then? Oh, as an American, I can confirm this.
Freedom.
European kids getting ready for another school year. American kids getting ready for another school.
Okay. Should I? Yeah. Okay. No. I'm resolving to be more opinionated here in 2025. This topic is the main reason I didn't continue teaching. Like, kind of straight up. When you have 5 faculty meetings in the same semester about this particular subject, this one here, it kind of starts to get to you a little bit. Especially when 3 of them are because of events that happen in your state. So I kind of just had a little bit of a sit down for myself and was like, you know what? I'm gonna lose a very significant portion of my mental health if I stay doing this thing. So here we are now, being a skeleton on the internet. Being a creature on the internet is more fun though. It really is. Yeah, absolutely.
A policeman is approaching you in Europe versus them approaching you in America.
But no, this was the other thing is that in the Netherlands, you could literally identify every single cop car you see because they are brightly colored to let you know that, hey, no, this is a police car. It's not like here in the US where the police is a revenue system for the state. And literally the vast majority, like you can sort of start to pick them out when you've had some experience and you know what to look for. But here in the US, they're sneaky about it. Outside of the fact that all the ones around me are like Mustangs and Challengers and stuff. It's like, okay, sure, yeah. Play into your tactical narrative here.
Americans are so funny. They're like, OMG, there's a concert near my house. It's like a 3 hours drive. And Europeans are like, what? A 3 hour drive? Are you kidding me?
I'm not going to France for that.
Australians crying
in the distance. Okay, but like I don't like being in cars either. So 3 hours, I'm like, ah, fuck no. That is not happening. Excuse me, Jesus. A 3 hour drive? Are you insane? There's no fucking way. There's so many things I could do in those 3 hours. Like scroll through Reddit again.
in Invent a new sport. Spread it globally. Be bad at it. Invent a new sport. No one else plays it.
Declare world championship. Yeah, that's right, baby. Get in there, America.
Why is it so fat? The American
oh my god, yes.
Who thinks that America sucks is moving to Europe. The European who thinks that Europe sucks is...
Okay, yes, I do have to sort of keep this in mind for as often as I joke about, like, oh yeah, no, I should just move to Europe. It's so much better there. Is it gonna be, though? Like, is it really? At least I know the kind of shit I'm gonna get into over here. But if I go over there, it's gonna be an entirely new set of shit. So it's like,
moving to America, Europe. Americans are so uncivilized and violent. Also Europe, whenever someone scores a goal in soccer. It's football.
No, it's soccer.
It's kind of funny how so many
You invented it, England. Shut up.
Every house over like 10 years old has a ghost. This house is 100 years.
Okay, but like hang on. For this thing specifically, if we say that, like, oh my god, someone died here, it's more like someone got like fucking murdered in this motherfucker. Like, straight up splattered against the walls level. Not just, you know, oh yeah, no, multiple generations have passed away peacefully surrounded by their family. Like, goddamn, no, this was a fucking Dexter episode happening in here. It's Britney, bitch. Yes, that's my other favorite one. Be like, goddamn, why is it that every ghost is like some Victorian peasant from like the 1800s or something? Why can't we get a modern ghost of someone died in the 2000s who just comes out of your walls and just yells, "It's Britney, bitch"?
Years old. People have died in here. Like, okay. Yeah, but in Europe, when they're like, someone has died here, they mean like 4 generations of peace.
Yeah,
and
chat.
past of old age in this home. In America,
literally what I was just saying.
Some dude locked his mum in the basement and she starved to death. People in northern
Holy
Europe
shit.
with 12-degree weather. When Americans complain about heat, Europe. I'm in my 30s and don't have
the fucking heat where I live in the Bible Belt. So the heat and the humidity fucking kills me every single year. Like, I don't have any skin I could rip off, but if I could, I would do it to get a little bit cooler every single year.
have a car. We don't care. Get the bus, USA.
Or the train.
30s and don't have a car. If you speak to us again, we will call the police.
Although, to be fair, in the Netherlands and stuff, I saw, you know, a decent amount of cars. I would say it's probably around on par with what I would see here in the US. Maybe the difference is that the cities themselves are laid out more so that you could also walk, whereas here in the US it's kind of not. But yeah, no, took the car way more than I ended up taking the train, honestly.
US sports fans mix us together in the crowd. It's all good. European fans,
very good.
me,
Jesus
an American
Christ.
trying to chum up with the Europeans. The Europeans, 20-year-old
Oh,
American
come on,
boys.
it wasn't that
Mom,
bad.
can I drink a beer? No, you are way too young.
Too young?
15-year-old
No.
European boys. Dad, I'm getting a beer with the boys. Can I join?
Let's
Americans,
go.
when Americans make fun of the United States. Americans, when Europeans make fun of America. Europeans.
Yeah, that's also another thing. I can make fun of America because I live it. I know exactly what's happening here and why the things suck. If you don't live here and you don't know why the things suck, shut your face. It's easy.
Europeans to Americans, Europeans to Americans when they need military support. How Europeans think of Americans who have a carry license. American chocolate. You think you're better than me. European chocolate. I am better than you.
Okay, but also this is very true. Like, Hershey's chocolate tastes like fucking wax. It's so bad. It's so bad. It doesn't even technically qualify as chocolate because the actual cocoa content in there is less than what you actually need for it to be good. And yet, goddamn, I will fuck up a Reese's. Like, instantly. You don't even have to ask. Just put that shit in front of me, it is gone. It will be gone. Yes, yeah, no, sometimes the chocolate just tastes like vomit. Like, for no reason. It's just like this mildly kind of sweet thing, but also not anything like chocolate at all. It is the wildest thing. I don't know why it managed to get to this point.
I'm looking at myself in the mirror. Americans be like, I'm gonna go watch a war movie. Americans be like, I'm gonna go eat an
Horror,
orange.
no.
Americans see a tree and go, look, a squirrel. Americans be like, can you give me a glass of water? Europeans.
What the fuck is this
I can't believe
accent?
Americans don't use the metric system. Americans with 3 grams,
and a 9mm in the pocket.
Europeans
Exactly.
What whimsical creatures. Let's invite them in for tea. Thank you. We'd love some tea.
Oh,
Let's celebrate.
Thank you. And then we have to deal with the fucking
this is the last
monster.
forest you're haunting, you son of a... I'm gonna
son of a
your
bitch.
corpse when I'm done.
Holy shit. No, okay, this is also true because I live near the Appalachian Mountains. And the Appalachian Mountain cryptid horror stories go fucking insane. Some of that shit is wild. Like, that needs to be another reaction thing we have to do, is react to, like, Appalachian horror stories and cryptids and shit.
No,
exactly, yeah.
Americans microwaving their tea. Britons drinking instant coffee. Europeans. Let's make me...
Instant coffee does... It's not awful, because I do have some. I've had it a couple of times, but it's definitely different than just like doing it normally, quote unquote.
It's about Americans. That'll show them. Americans. I'm sorry. Who are you again? Brits making fun of Americans for using feet. Also Brits when they use stones for weight. When you are British,
throw the fucking
American
rock in there.
Friend says, let's play football, but then they bring an ellipse-shaped ball. I am a bit confused. The beginning of the American Revolt.
No, you should have known that the instant you knew you were talking to an American about sports, okay? Like, we're known for one fucking thing, and it's football. And I don't mean soccer, I mean football.
You owe me like $1. You'll have to kill me for it. We're experiencing
exactly.
heavy snow. Massive snowstorm. Duh, more vodka. Looks like spring, eh? When I see British citizens mocking the president.
In fact, I may get iced in tomorrow. The possibility exists. It's gonna get like 20 degrees Fahrenheit, 16, I think. It's snowing here now, dude. Fucking ice where I'm at. Like, we have a couple of times a year after the start of the year, around like January, February-ish, where we just get like a hard freeze, and then everything kind of shuts down for like a week. And that's, I like that to a certain extent. I'm okay with it. After that point, I never want to see it again. It cries in like 2 feet of snow here. Dude, you live in Canada, my man. Like, it is inescapable.
I just remember that in 100 years, they went from ruling 1/4 of the world to living on an island the size of Michigan.
Yeah,
so this is an American translator for what Americans say and what it means.
Okay, let's go through this. Awesome. Yeah, good. Fabulous, yeah. Yeah, it's great. Great. I feel like you could make great be good also. It's fine. Yeah, I would use fine as like oh, this isn't something I actually enjoy, but I don't want to like be rude about it. And same thing with okay. Yeah, not so great. It's pretty bad.
I'm afraid of Americans. This is super real. Let's get coffee sometime.
It really kind of is.
Goodbye, I like you. Or let's stay in touch means goodbye,
Right,
I don't like you.
that much. Okay, I will say, any of the people that I have said, oh my god, yeah, we should stay in touch, I've never reached out to again. And these are, it's usually like people I hung out with in like high school. But that was mostly because like, you're just around so many people in high school that you kind of have to make friends with some people that you wouldn't normally if you had like the freedom to do anything else. So
Americans call a knob of butter a stick of butter. Wait, we call it a knob too. Who the hell calls it? We call it a knob. What? Those Americans are terrible with all of their shooting stats. Meanwhile, in Europe, Americans, when you tell them European isn't a country, confused, oonga boonga. American drivers trying to navigate the narrow streets of an old European city.
This is from like what, Avatar? I mean, yeah, like listen, I'm not gonna take like a fucking dually all the way into Amsterdam, like proper. It would not survive. And by it, I mean Amsterdam. I'd be tearing up the cobblestones at that point. But like, I have what would be considered like an American car, quote unquote. It's like a compact SUV. It would do relatively well compared to what I've saw in Europe. But also at the same time, like, I would just take the fucking train in and then walk. Like, it's not that bad. Now, that being said, don't know if I would ever try driving in the Netherlands, because apparently it's really hard to get your license there, according to everyone I have talked to, which is a total of 2 people. But those 2 people, like, live there, so they would know.
How Europeans think Americans get to work. Literally true. POV.
Some of my
Count 2
coworkers look like that,
after
unfortunately.
arriving in the USA.
Okay, that's not true.
Why do Europeans think they're better than us? Europeans, USA.
Kinder
France,
surprise.
help me.
Hell
France,
yeah.
Can't. I'm broke. It's against the British. France.
Fuck yeah! Dude, we will sacrifice so much to fuck over the British. Also, hello, lad. Thank you for the first stream invasion of 2025.
What are Europe and America's views on gun safety? Europe says guns should be highly controlled
Lad,
and used
yeah,
only by
he's
responsible
here.
adults. America says if their age is on the clock, then
they could use a Glock.
How Americans see
Make
USA
their age match their
versus
wage.
USA
Get child labor
reality.
in there.
Olive oil Europe versus butter Europe. Europe every couple decades. Father, I crave violence. Aliens
Jesus
visiting
Christ.
the United States versus aliens visiting Eastern Europe. Driving directions
I mean,
in Europe.
okay, to be fair, if you're from any other first world or second world country and you go to Eastern Europe, you're basically an isekai protagonist. Like, straight up. Like, you just miles ahead in the tech tree. It's wild, dude.
22. Drives on the left, drives on the right. Mixed.
Mixed? The fuck do you
Average
mean
USA
mixed?
hospital
How do you
visit.
mean?
This is horrible. This man has no insurance. I'm on it, doctor. They pushed him off. They killed him. Australian arrested
have
in
no
Australia. Australian
views on
arrested
that.
in
What the
Europe.
fuck?
European arrested in Australia. Toilet in Europe versus toilet in India versus Amber Heard's toilet. Speed cameras
whoa,
anywhere
yo.
else. Speed cameras in Eastern Europe. How Americans see Europe. It's too far away. We can't. Americans
yeah, true.
simply
Very
cannot
true.
conceive of how gloomy Europe is. Wow, so UK is horrible. Let's go. At 19 years old in America. Can I buy a bottle of vodka? USA. No, that's illegal and irresponsible. Can I go $50,000 in debt for education? We encourage it. America.
Cries in education major.
American Impossible Challenge. Americans tried to name this
Wait.
country challenge.
What the fuck is that? Excuse you? What the hell is this thing? There's not a thing there. Right? Why is this edited so well to fit in? There's not a country there. Shut the fuck up. Holy shit.
Impossible. Americans literally have no banter. I don't know what country this is coming from, but we've probably beaten you in a war at some point.
Hey,
I'm
got him.
American. Civil War. America. I'll kick anyone's
Anyone's
butt.
ass.
I'll kick your butt. I'll kick your dog's butt too.
I'll kick my own
butt.
ass.
Remember that time it got so hot in some parts of Australia? The bottoms of people's thongs were literally...
I'm sorry, the bottoms of people's what? They're what? What are you doing with that on the sidewalk?
melting to the asphalt, and people still ask me why I hate summer. For Americans reading this post, a thong is a flip-flop. A flip-flop.
I'm kidding, I already knew that. But you gotta lean into the content, people.
Oh. Racism in Europe versus racism in America. Europeans
yeah,
memeing on
fair.
Americans. Europeans being memed on by Americans. Anti-curfew riots in the Netherlands. America. Europe. Netherlands.
Wait, was this a thing? Did this actually happen at some point? I know at one point we talked about like public transit strikes, where the bus people would like still do their jobs but just not accept payment. But I don't think I ever heard about like curfew. I mean, clearly it probably wasn't happening like at the time I was there, but also at the same time like,
Dude, you're embarrassing me in front of the Americans. Europe is better because we have social benefits. That's only possible because the US rebuilt Europe. So the evolution of
kinda
chaos
true,
for USA, Germany, and Russia. 100 years in the future.
Okay, but hang on a second. These ones, these look kind of stupid. I'm gonna level with you. Like those, not practical at all. Just because something looks sci-fi and high-tech doesn't mean it's actually useful. I'd be very much okay with just, you know, keeping this design.
USA, Michigan.
But I don't like cars like in general, so, you know, take it for what it's worth.
versus Norway. How the rest of the world sees the USA. Los Angeles. What? Disney World. Yeehaw. New York. Being bi-
Okay, but to be fair, I also say what about the entire middle part of the Midwest.
bilingual in America versus being
Yes,
bilingual
oh god,
in
yep.
Europe.
Okay, I will say this was kind of the nice thing about being in Europe as an American is that I didn't even have to try and pretend to know the language. I could just be like, I'm so sorry, I don't speak bleh. Like, it just, most people speak like enough English. It's good. I mean, it's what comes with being part of the lingua franca, you know?
I thought it would be the opposite. No, it has to be, right? It's the opposite. Europe's so good they made a sequel. History books.
Let's go!
History books if Europe had natural resources. Salesman slaps USA.
Damn.
You can fit so many idiots in this bad boy.
Also true,
Hunting in
yeah.
Mexico versus hunting in Australia versus hunting in USA. Everything's better with
Nice.
explosives. I've always
It
scoffed
really
at
is.
those. OMG, Europe is tiny post. But we just took the wrong exit driving back to our cabin and we literally ended up in Norway and decided to just stay for dinner. So yeah, this just happened
Jesus
again.
Christ.
There isn't even a sign that says welcome to Norway. You're just there all of a sudden. I could miss an exit and still stay in my state for another 8 hours.
8 hours? Okay, chat. Me, my mom, and my brother took a road trip out west. Cat, why are you pawing the fucking screen? Is it because the cursor's right there? It's because the cursor's right there. Please stop it, you little shit. But no, we took like a big Midwest road trip. We hit like St. Louis, we hit Colorado, we hit Nevada, Utah, all that jazz. On the way back, we ended up having to go back through Colorado, and it took us 16 fucking hours to drive through Colorado because half of that motherfucker was on fire. Like 200 million acres ended up burning during that shit. Like, we was just switch back and forth around like 4 national forests. I was so done with Colorado by the end of it. And you know what the worst part is? By the time we stopped for the night, it was like 9 o'clock at night. The sun was down. We had been in the car for 16 hours. So we found a hotel. And then the next morning, we drove for 30 minutes. 30 minutes, and we were out of Colorado then. I just cannot make that shit up. I'm so mad. All of us we're so done with Colorado the whole time. Fuck, I still don't want to go back to Colorado. It's been years since that trip happened.
USA.
AI image.
Americans. Oh, mercy me. I keep forgetting I'm in the colonies. My favorite post. Please tell me that people
They
in
do
Britain
not call it the
actually call the
colonies.
USA the
They
colonies.
do not do that.
We call you the colonies.
Fuck
We don't
off.
Call you the colonies.
Okay,
Europeans.
thank you.
I drove Scotland because I was at an island versus Scotland football match, and their chant was, "We hate England more than you." One time at
Fuck
a
yes.
Germany versus Scotland game, some German fans started the
Hang
"Stand
on,
up
moving.
if you hate
Here we go.
England" chant, and the whole stadium stood up. What did we do?
Let's
What
go.
didn't we do?
Literally
Does it mean that
everything.
England is the US of Europe? Where do you think the US got it from?
Got it from?
Go
Yeah,
for a walk.
baby.
The scenery will cheer you up. People in Eastern Europe. USA. We're going.
Okay, for as much as everybody clowns on the brutalist architecture and everything, it's better than being homeless. Like, straight up.
To make a League of Nations, Europe, and you're going to join it, right? USA. You're going to join it, right? But
Hell nah.
Can someone translate this? I don't know British. I'll do my best. Ahem. Hey yo, ma. It's mum, not mum. It's
I feel like that
chips,
doesn't
not
translate
crisps.
100%,
It's fries,
but-
not chips. It's color, not color. It's soccer, not football. Wrong. Why is it cancelled in the UK but cancelled in America? Oh,
We gave you the hell in 1776. Let's go, baby. No, we had a conversation about this too. It's because it would cost more per letter to get things printed, so you would cut unnecessary letters out.
I actually know the answer to this one. American
Hey,
newspaper
there we go.
ads
Let's go,
charged
Beep.
by the letter. So a lot of people would eliminate unnecessary letters like the second L in cancelled or the U in color. Some of these spelling changes were used so often that they stuck, and now Americans just spell some words differently. In summary, Americans spell things
It's weird because of capitalism. Yep, it's literally how it is. It's also where we get the phrase "mind your P's and Q's," because P's and Q's cost more to print than normal letters. Don't ask me why, but they do.
Capitalism. Another weird Australia fact. We are the only country that ever cancelled a boat race due to the lake being wet. Please elaborate. The Henley-on-Todd is a screw you boat race made to poke fun at the English's Henley-on-Thames. The Todd River is dry most of the time. And as a result, it hosts the only dry river regatta. Behold
the chaos. Hell yeah, just run that shit.
Everything the light touches is our kingdom, USA. Colonies. But what about that shadowy place? You must never go there. Americans. Talking smack to the US. Other Americans. Yeah, we suck. Europeans. Talk smack about the US. Americans. America. Europeans. Universal healthcare. Americans. Europeans asking Americans where Wasplakshazvestovich is. Europeans
Bitch,
when
what?
Americans ask where Nebraska is. British cheddar versus American cheddar. Europeans are
Okay. I have kind of a...
ask where Nebraska is. British cheddar.
Okay. I don't buy like yellow cheese like this, all right? It's weird. It's weird to me. You want to know why? Milk isn't yellow. How do you think they get the yellow color in there? They just add that shit. No, it is all white cheddar and white American. Because that is as unprocessed as you can get with it. All right? This shit needs to be the same color as the bone I am made out of. Period.
Cheddar versus American cheddar. Europeans arriving in NYC, wondering why the homeless dude pooping in a 7-Eleven cup wasn't included in their pamphlet.
What? This was not included? Nice addition, though.
Europeans, when someone mentions
Nice
American
addition,
healthcare,
what the fuck?
would rather spend taxes on guns than healthcare. Laughs in public healthcare. How Europe sees USA. This is how USA sees.
All right, let me see here. Yes, England. Basically, yeah. Okay, that's not. I know that's not Greenland, but shut up. IKEA, Norway, ex-USSR. I mean, that's basically what all of that is. I don't know why Australia is written in here. Greece. I don't know what flag that is. With Jesus? I mean, I guess that's like an interest of the Middle East. Foodland? I don't know. Seems like Croatia. Foodland? That is hilarious.
I think Americans have spent long enough making fun of British accent. We need to stop making fun of our own accent. Americans be eating crayon berries. Americans be paying
Wait, hold on. What do you mean? Hold on a sec.
$20 for a crate of... I think Americans have spent long enough making fun of British accents. We need to stop making fun of our own accent. Americans be eating crayon berries. Americans...
Shut the fuck up, dude. Cranberries. C-R-A-N, not crayon. Holy shit.
Be paying $20 for a crate of water bottles.
Water bottles?
Americans offered two
water
choices.
bottles.
They have no real preference between the two. I don't think American filmmakers realize how huge London is, because you sure have the London Eye and Houses of Parliament, but when you say London has fallen, what? So the Nando's in Catford is in flames. The Tesco in Peckham has descended into chaos. We have states bigger than your entire country.
Literally.
Europe, without the... Guys, you're literally killing me. Well, thanks whoever made this meme. Japan.
Nice.
The USA. Yep. Fighting in Europe. Fighting in Africa. The
The
State
US,
Department
yeah,
nailed my girl's passport. Want to know just how big...
Damn. Want to know just how big Texas really is? This is so fucking bad. What is this?
Texas really is. This is actually mind-blowing. I don't get it. That's Europe inside Texas. Texas isn't actually that huge, is it?
Everything.
France, United Kingdom relations. England, screw you. France, screw you.
Ew.
History of the Middle East.
Yeah, literally.
History of Europe. History of USA. History of USA is like a DLC of Europe history.
That is actually, yeah, kind of it.
Divide people by irrational things when you could divide them by whether their word for cotton candy is valid or not. Examples: American
cotton candy?
English, cotton
Dude,
candy.
I don't think I've had
Good.
cotton
British
candy in
English.
so long.
No, we don't call it fairy floss.
Wild.
We just call it candy floss, and that is valid. Spanish and German, sugar cotton. Good. French, daddy's beard, not valid. I'm sorry, the French call...
Okay. I'm usually here backing the French up. I feel like the French get clowned on a little bit. This is the one time the French deserve to get clowned on. Daddy's beard? Excuse you. No, get that shit out of here.
Americans explaining why they don't want free healthcare because they get to skip the waiting times. Europeans with
no.
identical insurance at a fraction of the cost because it has to compete with the free one. Napoleon wants money for war with England. Thomas Jefferson wants to purchase Louisiana. British bank offers to lend Thomas the money. Thomas Jefferson borrows the money and buys Louisiana. Declares war on Britain with the Louisiana money. We can
Let's go.
And imperial measurements. It's not difficult at all. Europeans
fucking
making fun of
grind
Americans
set,
for using
baby.
imperial measurement. Americans running the 100-meter dash, buying liters of soda, grams of drugs, and kilos of other drugs. British
Let's go.
versus American. Favorite and spelled very incorrectly by the American.
No,
Prince
it's
Harry
just- it's a
officially
similar
renounces
thing.
British residency.
Favorite.
US as
Shut
his
up.
new country on document. A literal British monarch changing his alliance to the United
Exactly,
States. We've
exactly.
never been more back. Afternoon. Hey, how are you? Fine, how about you? I'm good. You're from Maine? I'm rotated in Europe right now, so the 1900 miles away threw me off. Where's that? Maine or Europe? Europe. Where the hell is that? It's across.
Okay, I can't stand people that like text like this. Like, please just have a couple of like at least one complete sentence in here instead of just the one-word start openers. Please, God.
The ocean.
It's
The
across
USA
the ocean?
shouldn't
Hell yeah,
police
it
the
is.
world. Totally agree. That includes removing troops in Europe, letting Europe defend itself. But I won't be able to afford all of my social policies then, because increased military spending.
Okay, yes, this, to be slightly serious for a second, this is sort of a problem. Like, if you actually look at how much the US spends on military budget, it's more than the next 4 or 5 countries combined. It's that much fucking money. And even then, the US is like several billion dollars beyond that. Like, the US spends so much money on military spending. I'm not saying it's not always necessarily justified, but sometimes it's kind of not justified. But anyways. Yay, we're at the end of the
Why are
segment.
these memes like on America's side? I'm British! No! Forget this meme, it never existed.
Nah, it's real, fam. It's real. Alright, y'all.